Morning. Today I'm going to do TerraTech. I've been playing TerraTech off and on since I think near the beginning of its early release. I'm actually wondering if it's in production release now. I can't remember. Uh, Visit store page. No, it looks like it's actually been released, which is cool. They do keep releasing DLCs. I don't know much about this company. They seem to have avoided uh, various scandals, so that's good. Um, anyway, TerraTech is so the intro page is kind of silly. It just pits three machines against each other and they fight until one remains and then it resets and it does another three random machines. But I'm gonna play campaign, and in campaign you start with like the most basic possible um, machine, and you go around doing adventures and gathering um, building blocks and unlocking licenses for different companies. I guess is I think that's how they structure it. And the more you open up, the more you're allowed to build with, the more you have things that you can build with. And then the other thing that you do is it's also sort of an exploration, resource gathering, harvesting, and selling game. So that's how you sort of power your adventures is um, you go around gathering resources and refining them, and you can either create your own blocks eventually, or you can just refine um, resources and sell them pretty easily and sort of automatically. So you can play in different modes. So let me just sort of show you around. So I'll play the campaign. There's a bunch of other modes. You can do creative mode, which is like Minecraft's creative mode where there's no real consequences. You can build what you want. You can do R&D labs, which I think allow you to play with all the blocks and set up enemies to fight with. There's sumo, which is a competition, and gauntlet, which is another sort of test. I'll do campaign. You can connect with Twitter, so you can brag about your creations. You can set a seed, so if I wanted to, I could play it like I was doing um, license sphere program where I selected a seed that other people had found. And I'll go through the tutorial so you can see what the deal is there. TerraTech. All right, so you crash. Ouch. The flashy red means you've taken some damage. Click and drag. Click, hold. It sort of snaps into place and then you let go. Same for the wheels. Click, hold, snap in place. Use that right mouse button to drag it around and change your view. I'm in a sort of building mode where my unit is hovering over the ground, but we'll soon drop it to the ground so we can stir it around. A little pew pew gun. Um, a mini drill for the front. Yep, and then drop to the ground. All right, so it's a WASD. WASD. A and D spin. W goes forward, S goes back. These wheels are not particularly awesome. You have two sets of guns. Oh, and look, an enemy. The guns are somewhat auto-aiming, so... And I got a better gun. This gun is much better. But let's put this one facing back. So if I hold down the left mouse while I have a component and I'm hovered over when I place it, I can use F and G to spin it around. So now that one is facing by default backward. So now I have duty forward, duty back. And I also have another block, which I'm actually going to use to extend. So you can build even if you're not in building mode. Building mode just makes it a little easier because you can sort of freely rotate around and see the bottom of your machine. Oh, and I have one of these wheels too, which I can help with stability in the back. That will just help me not get caught in crevices and stuff. Okay, I think, is that it? I think so. I feel like I managed to skip a tutorial step by talking to you. Oops. Oh, here we go. And the solar gen. All right, and you can see on this mini map down here that the target they want me to go to is this one that's just to the left of north. And you can see over as an overlay on top of the main screen, it's pretty far away. So what I'm getting with the tooltip is the trees that I can see that are in front of it, but way out there in that direction is where I'm headed. I can change my viewpoint in relation to the cab. And there's another bad guy, which I think I will engage. Well, they're pretty far away. It may not be worth it. Looks like they don't have any weapons per se. Yeah, that was just worth experience points. I'm not even gonna pick these things up because I don't really need them, and I don't have any room for them right now on my machine. So there's my destination. Solar generator. So solar generator is actually the first part of the base that you will eventually set up. So I can actually put it on I'm supposed to be able to put it on my machine, but maybe I think I actually have to put it. All right, so I'll put it in the ground. So that's what it looks like when it's in the ground. And the reason I had to put it in the ground was for the tutorial. So now it's powering this repair bubble generator. So I can hang out in the repair bubble and get repaired. And now it's saying, don't forget to bring it with you. Okay, so I'm going to I guess I'll do this one first, and then the repair bubble. So the repair bubble won't work unless it's powered, and when the solar generator is on your machine, it won't extend and provide power. You have to place it somewhere in order to reactivate the repair bubble. We can fix that later when we get batteries, because we can then use the batteries to power things on our machine without um, having to place the solar generator. But first we'll get a radar, which radar will extend our the reach of our vision in the minimap and give us a better tactical situation. We'll just be able to see enemies from further away and avoid them. I feel like there may be combat. I can't remember. I mean, it's not serious combat at this point, but it's still combat, right? Yeah. Okay, so I got more blocks to work with. So I'm actually going to just connect that, put that there, move this so that it will be in the repair bubble. The bubble itself took some damage at some point recently. It looks like there's a bad guy coming. That's not my favorite. But you can see that my minimap has expanded since I got my radar. I guess I'll just shoot because this guy's kind of shooting at me from far away. So while I'm thinking about what to do, I'm going to shoot. And I think what I'll do is I'll use these 3 blocks to build sideways a little more broadly and also to extend the back. So I'll take this off, then I'll take these wheels off. This here, that there, this wheel back here. Dead. Oh, I think I got another potential gun. I can't steer this thing now. Okay. Yeah, it's a gun. I'll put that one facing forward, and this one facing forward, and this one I will move back. And then, oh, somewhere I've lost my drill, probably from damage. But that's okay. They're very frequent, so I'll probably get another one soon. So I got some extra stuff, wheels mostly, which I think I will just ignore. And I'm going to put that on as a hat. Maybe I'll bring more of these wheels. You got to be careful not to stick them on sideways or they will impede your movement. I feel like I should save the other more robust wheels, but actually I think I won't. I think I'll just go with this for now. Okay, so now that I need to find my battery, which is sending me again in sort of the opposite direction. My steering is a little bad, to say. I think my build was ill-considered, but it's fine. Right now, I just sort of want to add more blocks to get them shot off. As soon as I get the battery, things will change because then I can charge the battery and I'll have a repair bubble that I'll carry around. And then the other thing that you can find is a shield bubble. If you have a repair bubble and a shield bubble and a bunch of batteries, you're pretty much invincible for a while. Maybe not entirely invincible, but close. Put that on as a hat. So it's actually got some juice and it's powering the repair bubble. Ooh, a little care package. Oh, okay. I gotta go back to where I crash landed. So the repair bubble is now something I'm carrying with me, and it will repair my equipment as it gets damaged. But you can see that the battery has already lost 1 tick. And it loses battery quickly if you keep getting damaged, and it keeps having to repair. But it's sort of static if you're not taking damage. So right now it's static. Um, but like if I ran into something, I would take a little damage and it would use up the juice. Just wanna not have it land on top of us. Okay. Get close to get it open. They've given me a bunch more blocks. Ooh, and a battery and another solar and a, oh, all right. And also these are better wheels. So let's replace our wheels with the better wheels if we can. At least some of our wheels with the better wheels. I think actually I'm going to go into build mode and I'm going to, so one way that you can like drop all of your stuff at once is by moving your cab. And then that drops you out of build mode and then you have to go back into build mode. I also want to keep this from rolling away, being a sort of a ball shape. It has a tendency to roll away. Okay, now I am going to, would you stop rolling away? Good Lord. I have both batteries. Um, and I got another shield bubble or repair bubble. That's nice. Actually going to put both of those. See, the other thing is I'm going to run out of juice and these batteries are not going to be useful. So what I should do actually is, for now, stick them onto the solar so they can be recharged, and I'll do without them for now. Later on, there's wireless battery charging, uh, so you don't have to worry about like charging up batteries and then putting them um, back on your machine and rearranging stuff. You just have to be near the wireless charging station. But unfortunately, that today is not that day. So instead, this is going to be an unruly device, but at least it will, I don't know, should have a little bit better movement. We'll see. If not, we can take it apart and refactor it a little bit. I think I will maybe. Yeah, let's put that on. Oh, it's a two-piece attachment point. So I should have made my tech 2 blocks wide. Maybe I'll do that. All right, so let's take this off and put it next to the cab. The other thing you can do is you can actually put things in front of your cab. Like your cab doesn't have to be the first block in the build. It could be in the middle, and I've certainly done that before too. Is put the cab in the middle and protect it with blocks, so those blocks can be shot off before the cab is damaged. It really depends on what you're planning to do and how much resistance you're planning to encounter. And I think the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move these wheels back so that I can put more guns in the front. I think I have, yeah, I have 2 there. So if I put that gun on the side, it actually is front facing and it will shoot around the scoop, which is largely defensive anyway. So now I'm putting the sort of weak wheels in the middle to help provide stability, but not necessarily grip. And then these training wheels in the back. And what else? We have one more gun. We will face backwards. And I don't think I need those other wheels and stuff. Well, I guess I could put this here. Not that it will really help anyone, and I guess I'll put this here too. So I'm actually gonna keep this base the way it is with its repair bubbles, and I'll come back to it if I need, I think. Although it's telling me that I need to rebuild and leave the area. I don't know if I agree. I think maybe if I just leave the area, that will tell it that I'm ready to move on to the next stage. Also, I feel like I'm missing a... Did I lose a cannon in my latest exchange? Oh no, I've got the 4 cannons in the front. That's right. So I've only got the 1 pew cannon in the back, but I've got 4 in the front. So that's what I'm relying on. Okay. Um, let's go out of the area to see what happens. Ah. Oh, okay. Well, in that case, if we're talking about trading stations, I am actually going to bring everything with me. And I can set up near the trading station instead. So what I need to do is put these actually near the middle. This there, this there. And I think I'll just leave the block behind and also the additional radar, which I also don't need. All right, so that's, yeah, I'll just leave the stuff that I really don't think I'll need. Get out of here and go towards the trading station. It's actually, it looks like there was actually one to my right. Let's stay on the grasslands. I think the grasslands are a little bit more friendly than the other territory terrains right now. Trying to stay out of range of this enemy. Also, I turned off the music because I didn't want to risk any copyright claims. Sometimes it's hard to tell where the music is coming from, but that's actually more likely in AAA games where they license. But I don't know where the music came from this game. But the music for this game tends to sound a little Western and Frontiers-like. All right, and the trading station has a wireless charger, so it's actually fairly good for me to just hang out. There's somebody shooting at us over here, but we're carrying batteries and a repair bubble, so it's less likely that we'll get stuff. I mean, still we might get some stuff blown off, but it's less likely. Ooh, okay. So now we got the 2x block, which is good. Another kind of wheel, strip light, and another kind of drill. I can actually click and drag and put things within the repair bubble. Another repair bubble. Got another one of these things. And I think, I'm not sure if this is still the case, but when I started playing this game, uh, all it took to sort of own a new block was to click it and hold it for a little bit, and it would sort of become a block that you could then buy more of and access in your builds and so on. I'm not sure if that's the case now. Another pew pew cannon over here. So it might be time to refactor and rebuild again. And then the other thing to know is let's see here. It wants us to use the mission board. Okay, so we can take this mission. Okay. Let's connect. All right, and then if I right click on this display, this is the shop. Yep. So that's how you buy stuff. And they wanted me to attach it to my tech. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to unload the stuff that I brought from my earlier adventures, and I'm going to save a lot of the stuff that I was given um, as I reconfigure my tech. So let's see here. And eventually we'll also unlock stuff that allows these kinds of ground anchored things to have an AI that can control turrets and sort of spin it around and be a defensive mechanism for the area. I'm reaching pretty far here. It's not necessarily the easiest thing to do, but it does help when you've got a significant amount of loot to manage in the early game. In the later part of the game, or even the middle game, you'll unlock a capacity to save these automatically to a sort of building library. So you don't have to click and drag and place them on a base. You can just get them near the thing that will suck them into the building library. But for now, we don't have that technology yet. So instead, I have to manually stick it around on things. Okay. Earn BB by selling resources. All right, so I have a thing. And so now I need to go around, and I don't know if I need, I'll keep the 2 repair bubbles, but I'm not sure if I need that. I think I'm actually going to leave one here. And it still covers all of me. All right, so just walk up to your nearest tree and blow it up. That's friendly, right? And automatically the resource collector thing picks stuff up. You can see it didn't pick up this thing. That's because it's full. So I can take this and drive it over to the base, and the base has these white pads on the side. And if I get close enough to them, they get yoinked into the base, and the base starts selling them by shooting them into the air, although it's not doing that animation right now. And each time it shoots one into the air, I get some credits. So I only need to get 100 credits to fulfill this mission, so I'll just blow up another tree. Wood, so it's going to be another trip. Yoink! Maybe another 2 trips. Some resin. Resin pays more than just wood. Yoink! Almost there. One more? Yeah, one more trip. Okay. Oh, no, it already got it. Excellent. I am a good prospector. All right. Active business. Big yellow, sure, what the heck. Normally don't do big yellow with a starting tech because big yellow is quite robust. Travel to the trading station seems to be super. Oh no, it's not super nearby. I think big yellow. I think that's big yellow. That's to the. Okay, sure. Actually, let's see. How do I? No, I gotta click this. That's right. No. Craft. Oh, crafty business is. Let's go to crafty business. Crafty business is fun. Might have to shoot somebody. It looks like they're doing their own thing. All right, so crafty Mike. I do get to help. It's very Tom Sawyery. Okay, so I click and drag and unclick. I click and drag and unclick. I click and drag and unclick. Yes. Click and drag and unclick. Okay, excellent. Imagine indeed. Ooh, nice cell. So I always, well, okay, first of all, I'm keeping an eye on this guy over here. Backing up a little bit. Refinery, yes. Okay. The refinery refines. Very good at it, which increases the value of the resources that you fire into the sky. All right. So when he says look after, for me, that always means tear apart, bring to my own base, and use there. So just gonna look at it briefly to see, make sure that I understand how it's built. Now this guy's coming for me, so I'm actually gonna shoot at him. And hopefully they're not gonna blow up my stuff, because that would be irritating as hell. You blew up some of my stuff, dude. You suck. Blowing up even more of my stuff. I think I'm gonna lose the refinery, which is irritating. And try to keep it out of the line of fire. Ooh, I actually got to repair it. That's good. Okay, so I can actually repair. I did lose, however, all of the conveyor belts. Oh, almost all. Um, but enough to be a serious pain. So what I'm going to do is, I don't care about the blocks. I do care about the wheels. So I'm going to take the good wheels and replace my, well, they're not bad wheels, but they're, and you can see that my battery is gone. It's not, it hasn't been destroyed, but it just, I don't have battery left. So my repair bubble is gone. So the only place repairs are available now is at the base. So what else? I still have all of my guns. I will take their gun. Um, I need this conveyor belt just so that I have it. It's an extra wheel, which I am going to abandon. I need this, the pad, a couple of extra guns. I think I'll try to take all the guns that I can. I'm gonna have to carry this unless I can attach it. Oh, I guess I can. It's kind of ugly and heavy, but Yeah, that'll do. So now I'm just going to ignore everything else and go back to the station. It's also getting to be twilight, which means the repair bubbles that are at the station are only going to be good for a short period of time. So I really want to get as repaired as and energized as I can, essentially. Um, and I don't think I have enough conveyor, but maybe I can buy, let me see if I can buy a transport belt. It looks like no. So unfortunately, I lost the ability to really do some refining, I think. Well, I don't know. We'll try what we can. Um, so I want to put this down. I'll just leave it there for now. I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to put the conveyor there and the pad there. And this might work. Let's see. If we stick that there, yeah, it looks like it might actually suck in here and go there. So we'll have to try it out. And I dropped these guns, so I'm actually gonna stick these back on. Um, it's not terrible. Maybe one more block. Looks like I'm gonna screw something up pulling a block off of here though. Maybe I'll pull this one off. That actually lets me move these off the battery, which is good because I actually might need to tear the battery off to get it recharged if I'm not near a base. The lights have come on. I know it's silly for me to put further ornamentation on things that I think I'm just going to have to pull off again. All right. Well, let's actually just harvest this rock because this will actually help us see if the refinery is working the way I want it to. More than I can carry. All right. So we pull this off. It goes, oh, some of it is going directly into the shooter and some of it isn't. That'll do. It's not ideal, but that's what we got right now. Later on, we'll have endless transport belts and we won't have to worry about conserving them. But right now, that's what we got. Okay. Um, I think I'll do that next, but what I will actually do is hang out because I don't want to travel in the dark. It's probably, I don't know if it matters that much. Does it matter that much? Yeah, let's just do it. The other thing is that I'm fully expecting to get my tech blown up at some point. They actually moved the goal, and I have to go here. And if that happens, then basically I restart in the smallest cap available, and I do my best to recover with the resources and cash I have, and that's just the way it goes. I don't really have any good attachment points, do I? I do for these. Here, we'll do that, that, and that because I'm feeling fancy. All right. See, this training station, they're going to make me go all the way out here, well into the desert, which is kind of a cheat because they initially told me it was 400 meters away, which was where it was going to be, and then they moved the spot so that it was not 400 meters away. So these guys have shields. I don't know if I'll be able to. Um, I don't know if I'll be able to salvage the shields. It looks like no. Ah, there we go. Now I have the thing that saves parts. So this black thing, uh, for the anchored blocks, you have to be creative and you have to get them out of the ground, but eventually they get out of the ground. Oh, there's the shield bubble. I want that. Right there. And the other shield bubble. Two shield bubbles. Apparently the building. Yes. All right, so that's the inventory, and you don't need to be near one of these black spheres to go into your inventory. So I'm going to go back to the home base. I'm going to leave this turret here in case we need it. I could take it apart and bring it with me, but I feel like I have enough stuff. So I'm just going to head back, and you can see the base. My base is that blue thing on the outer part of the radar wheel. Because what I want to do is that base will also have the black thing on it. And I want to just take apart the weird scrap base that I have and get it sucked into inventory so that I can use it and not just get it blown up. Good morning. Yeah, see, there's that thing again. The black thing. Okay, so I'm actually gonna take apart my tech. Oh, I need to kill this. Kill! Now, notice they're not getting sucked in, but that's because they're behind this thing and it doesn't notice them until they're in front of it. It can be to the side, but behind it won't even notice. Anyway, I'm gonna take apart my tech so that it gets sucked into the inventory as well. So I just need to essentially take this apart enough to find the cab, and the cab is behind this wheel. So if I just take the cab out, then everything but the cab will get sucked in. And I can undo if I want, but I don't want. But actually, let me just show you what undo does. So that's undo. So let me take myself apart again. But as long as you still have the blocks in inventory, undo will rebuild whatever your last thing was before you got dropped. Okay. I'm going to take this apart and drag every block into it. I can do some effective stuff by taking apart taking all the anchored blocks out. But it turns out that I have quite a few anchored blocks, and it's not going to see all of the ones that get scattered after the anchored blocks come out. It will see a lot of them, but you can see that this repair bubble is rolling away again. So you have to be kind of aware that things will sort of drop out of range if you take them apart. Okay, so now I have a combination of inventory, and I have 7,900, so I can buy some blocks if I want to. I'm actually feeling pretty good about what I have. I think I'm actually interested in getting an AI module so that I can get an AI turret around this trading station. I usually fortify around trading stations because it's easier than building my own station far away. The other thing is you saw this, the selector, which picks up resources, but there's also this, the block magnet, which picks up parts. So if I get in another scrap and I'm carrying a block magnet, that's my cat, I apologize. If I'm carrying a block magnet, I will pick up some of the free parts that are scattered around after I have a battle with someone. Um, so I might buy that. In fact, I will buy that. And I'll put it in the parts library. And then what was the other thing I was going to say? Um, oh, the AI. Do I have a? I do have a fair amount. I think I'm gonna. Well, no, I think I will buy it. Let's buy it. All right, and then with these, you can right. I think it's right. You can right-click and choose Send Blocks to Inventory, and they go into the inventory where the black sphere lives. So let's see what we have. All right, so that's shop. So I can click Open Inventory to see what blocks I actually own that I don't have to buy, which is more critical in the early game when your funds are limited. But the later you go into the game, the more or the less funds are limited because you're building resource refineries that make you lots of money every second or something, as long as you're out there harvesting raw resources. Okay. So first I want to rebuild my tech. And I think what I want to do is actually have these blocks all around it. Maybe not all around it, but at least horizontally all around it. Um, I have 8. Um, I will put, so facing matters. I need to remember that this is the front side of the tech. Um, these drills are helpful if I am going around and collecting resources. They're not necessarily helpful as weapons. I mean, they do damage. Certainly, I can ram an opponent and start drilling them and doing damage to them, but they're going to have the opportunity to shoot at me at close range if I do that. So it's kind of a mixed blessing. I think I'll do this. Excuse me, sleepy. The last two of these rugged wheels, and then I'll put the magnet sort of ahead. I want to do that. No, I'll do it middle. Then I need some shooty shooty bang bang. And maybe, yeah, I think the magnet will still work. If not, we can lift it up by one and have it on top. But I just want to have more places to put guns because I get into kind of a warmonger spirit here. Okay. And then I need radar. And I have not been thinking clearly about this because I also need or want a shield bubble and a repair bubble, which means I also want batteries. I guess that works. So then let's just put these guys on the back too, for more sort of armor protection. And then I drop it. That moves pretty well. It's fairly nimble. It's not the most. It's sort of a slow turner, as you can see, but it's okay. The only problem is if this parts magnet works, it'll sort of hold a cluster of parts and they may get right in front of the guns, which may damage them and shoot them. So I think I'm actually going to move these to the side of the batteries to reduce that risk. Yeah, that works. Okay. And then now the question is, do I still have enough stuff to build a reasonable turret? And I am not entirely sure if I do. But let's give it a shot. All right, so the training station itself doesn't really need protection, but if I build more around the trading station, that stuff does need protection. So what I think I will do is I'll put this guy there, and then I will put a battery. And good news, the battery's getting charged by the trading station, so it's close enough to get charged. And then I'll put this vertically. So I hold where I want to put it. I actually don't have the mouse button clicked down. It's just I'm carrying it because that's the last thing I clicked on. And then if I type F, it rotates it. Eventually, it will rotate it to its end, and then I'll click it. I want to build. I'm building sort of vertically, basically. And then the top of it. Well, actually, let's actually take this off. So my magnet is now working, so I can just pull off of that if I need to. I'm going to put this here, this back on here, the F key, put this stack on this on top. I'm actually going to take that off for a second and put a shield on. And another repair. And I'm using the mouse button, scrolling down to pull back. And then I'm going to put a solar station on top, which will work because it's an anchored block. So now this thing is getting this turret is getting energy both from the training station and from its own solar, and it's charging the one battery it has. So that's pretty good. Um, then I just want to put, all right, so I'm going to make it idle. I'm going to find its front. So its front is there. That's where its little lens is. So I'm going to put the turrets, the guns, so that they're on the sides facing forward. And what I want is better guns, but right now this is what I have, so this is what I will use. And then I'll do a little bit of armoring, not a lot, because there's not a lot to be done. And it will also provide some light to the area. And I can, kind of like Crafty Mike and the other structures and turrets we've seen so far, I can use things like the bulldozer plate as armor. Um, so that'll do for now. So now I'll just put it back on guard, and it will start spinning around, and it will, when enemies get close enough, it will shoot at them. So that's good. And you can also see that I've spent most of my, not all, but most of the blocks that are in my inventory. So let's close this. There's a cluster of bad guys this way, and I've forgotten which way is my front. So you can tell by does W move me forward or backwards. I'm going to start some trouble. Actually, what I am doing instead is I'm going to see if they kill themselves first. And it looks like the big one has already killed one of them so far. It's killed two of them. Now it's coming for me. And I am actually going to lead it back towards my turret so that it's not just me shooting. And you can see as I shoot things off of it, the gathering thing sort of is aggressive about. Now, not totally, because it's obviously too far behind, but then you can see that my parts magnet is picking things up, and if I back up far enough, then the black sphere takes them from my parts magnet. I don't have to do anything. I just have to drive into where the parts are and then drive backwards to where the inventory parts magnet vacuum thing is. So that's actually quite convenient and helpful. So I'm getting very close to the end of my hour, but I'm glad I was able to show you this part because um, it's good to have gotten this far into the game and given you a sense of the different kinds of resource gathering you can go into and the different kinds of things you can improve and power up, essentially. So if you look at my inventory now, you can see there's more stuff. I still only have the one conveyor belt, but I could set up that resource processing pipeline that I was doing before. Crafty Mike will show up again, and I'll get more conveyor belts from him. But I also already have 5 more of these guns, which are a little bit more powerful than the light machine guns. So I could actually go back to the turret and add some more guns as well. So there's lots of things to do. Um, and if I play this again, I may show you the beginnings of a real resource processing base, depending on what parts I unlock or liberate from enemies and other techs in the landscape. But it's been great. The other thing is if I go into Snapshot, then I can upload the tech that I have to Steam, or I can tweet the design, and those can actually, kind of like in reassembly, there are things you can do to get your designs into the larger space that all the players interact with. You can do that these ways here. But I'm just gonna do Twitch Tech 1. I'm just gonna save it. I'm not gonna upload it. And then I'm just gonna save the whole game. Uh, campaign 1. Okay. So as always, a pleasure to play for you and show you these games that I have variously enjoyed and found quite interesting. TerraTech is pretty deep, especially given that they keep releasing new um, parts and DLC and factions and so on. They even have parts for hovering and parts for flying, which I have to admit, terrible at controlling. But they do let you go very far and explore very deeply into the world. So, yeah, there's lots to explore and lots to play. It is definitely more an adventure game than a crafting game. Um, you can certainly, as you have battles and you liberate parts, like you can see with this 3 um, tech combat, this particular part is a huge cannon. Um, but as you liberate parts, you can start building with the ones that you suck into your own inventory, and you can eventually unlock them for purchase at the trading stations by accumulating faction experience points. Um, so there's lots of opportunities to discover new blocks that you can use to build stuff. Um, and the flying along with the driving can really make the gameplay quite complex and interesting. Um, and the game is really sort of what you make of it after you get through the beginning missions. Um, you can set your own goals and you can achieve them with this game because it's so sort of open and flexible. And I like the vehicle building interface. It's not particularly difficult. Things sort of snap together, and you can tell immediately if they're going to hold together. So it's kind of nice to work sort of in the environment instead of having to build something and then seeing if it works later. You can actually just build it and drop it out of build mode and start driving it around and seeing if it's got, for instance, the turn radius that you like or whatever. Um, it is Friday. I need to go to the blood draw lab next, so that's exciting. I hope that your day is more exciting and less full of pokey needles. Um, and I hope that you, as always, have a good time and that you have a loving family and that you're able to take care of them as they take care of you. Have a lovely weekend and take care of yourself.